Welcome to the Business Buyer Diaries. My name is Nathan Platter. I'm a full-time employee, and I bought a business. I did everything right, from finding the deal, handling all the due diligence on 63 opportunities, and ultimately bought a profitable gym. And boy, was I in for a big surprise as a new owner. I chronicled everything in real time, including the biggest wins to the stressful nights at 2 a.m. I'm sharing my journey without sugarcoating anything, so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Here's today's episode.
Hey yo. Well, it's the end of a long day. Just some final thoughts after, what is it? It's 10:20. Finishing up with the day job. We're leaving town for the weekend. And something I've been observing just on the influencer space, like social media, different articles, different sites. There's a big anxiety about not reaching a certain size or fame or wealth status or a goal or accomplishment. And she's the person that has big goals that is worried about having goals. If you want to hit a certain number in the bank account, a certain size house, backyard is a golf course, your neighbor has a helicopter, whatever your goal. There's this anxiety about, what if I don't reach my goal? What if I don't get to it? What if I'm not there fast enough? What if I'm not there young enough? What if it's not grand or big enough or meaningful enough or important enough? Child, you are valuable. You matter. Your house doesn't validate your worth. Your career trophies and your prizes. You know that when you win like Salesman of the Year, you're still going to throw it in the trash can, or it's going to sit in the shelf and collect dust. And you're going to feel like a loser because you were a somebody and now you're not a somebody. And now you're sitting around celebrating the glory days of club from last year. So what are you chasing at the end of this? Why do you care? People that are doing this, it's a cheesy line, but what is your why? And for some people, it's truly like getting that recognition, that fame, that blue check mark on Twitter, the 1 million Instagram followers, the 10,000 LinkedIn connections, maxing out your 5,000 Facebook friend requests, having so many vehicles in the driveway, having a big enough driveway, having a big enough garage for the big enough driveway, for the big enough cars, having the big enough house for the big enough driveway, for the big enough garage, for the big enough cars, for the big enough family, having the big enough acreage for the house, for the driveway, for the garage, for the cars, for the family. For what? Stop and sit. Why? Why do you care? What if you don't get there? What if you sit down, shut up, and do what you're trying to do? Why do you care? Why do you need this big, grandiose thing? What are you chasing, pursuing? I want to say both those words. What are you chasing? What are you pursuing? Stop right there. And my why is I don't want to be anxious about providing for my family. And whether you like it or not, I'm religious, and the Bible says, do not be anxious, for tomorrow has its own troubles. And it consistently says, if God will provide for the birds of the air and the flowers of the field, he'll provide for you. So speaking to myself, I don't need to worry about being provided for or having enough food on the table. We'll be okay. Big enough house, we're doing fine. We don't need a big house. We don't need a little house. We're just in that Goldilocks middle house. Fancy enough school, we're going to finance schools. Great enough job. I have a stellar job. I have a good people at the gym. I don't need to worry about those. I panic and get anxious about the position of the gym, but we're doing the right things on a day-by-day basis. We have the right people in place. We're building out the right things. So there's no need to stress about the result when we're doing the right input, because the right output will happen from the right input. So what's the whole goal? What's the purpose behind all this? For me, it's the ability to have time and the mental flexibility and bandwidth to think beyond myself and my family. And I get tunnel vision when I feel like I'm not doing enough or providing enough. And I don't want to be chasing that tunnel vision. And part of that is an abundance mindset. And I need to be better at realizing we have extreme abundance right now. You look at 99% of the world and they have it tougher than we do. And so right then and there, I need to sit myself down. I need to shut myself up and start realizing I have it made. I am gifted. I am blessed. I am called. I am purpose-filled. I am unique. I am destined to live in this moment. I am skilled and equipped to be the father to my kids. I have what I need, and I need what I have. And that's the right spot to be at right now. So if you're anxious that you're too old, too slow, too poor, too broke, too small, too ugly, too dumb, too whatever, just stop. Just stop, because you're going to be just fine. And I'm preaching to myself right now at 10:24 at night that We're fine. Things are good. Life is great. Jesus is risen. Let's go. That's where we're going. Let's rock and roll.
This has been another episode of the Business Buyer Diaries. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I hope you're realizing that business ownership is no cakewalk. Check the podcast notes for a link to the DIY Due Diligence program, the complete list of show sponsors, and for media inquiries. Music written and composed by Wes Schrock. I'm your host, Nathan Platter. Join me again on the next one.